Wearing my prom night too. Hello Mary Lou shirt from Atomic Cotton. Let me go ahead and zoom you in. Hello, how are you doing? How is your early pre-weekend going? What day is it? Is it Friday? What time? 'Tis the year of our Lord 1776. Hello. How are we doing? How are we doing? I am all right. I'm very excited that we are at the end of the week. Hello, Potato Face Serial Killer. How you doing? Slap a little moisturizer on. Not because we're doing anything particular, but just because I'm feeling a little dry. I'm just feeling a little dry, a little irritated. Oh, can we talk, YouTube? Can we talk? So, we've got some makeup to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about Dede Signature. We're going to talk about Dieverune. Hello, Alex. Hello, Mama Champagne. Hello, hello. How are we all doing? We're going to talk a little bit of Notoriously Morbid / Spellcast Beauty / whatever they're now. Pretty girl. Oh, hello. With that, welcome. Hello, hello. Yes, so here we are. I am in the office. I just came back to the office. I actually went home and had a really long nap this afternoon. I just decided, I was like, I'm gonna go, because let me tell you my little office nightmare. Let me tell you my little story about yesterday. So this week has been wild. This last week has been wild. It started last Sunday, where I came in at 3 in the afternoon and I was here till 11. Monday, I came in at 9 a.m. I was here till 11. Tuesday was my short day, where I came in at 10 and I was here till 8. Wednesday, I came in at 9. I was here till 11. Thursday, what did I do Thursday? I don't remember exactly what that was. That was another like 11 o'clock day. I don't remember when I came in. And then yesterday I had to be in at 9. Today. Oh my God. That's what, okay. Thursday. That's why I couldn't think of Thursday. This is why my brain is all crazy. Because I'm having trouble keeping track of the days, because today is Friday. Yesterday was Thursday. I know we all know how calendars work, but the reason why that's hard for me is because I was here working on Thursday until 1:30 in the morning to finish up this project. And then I went out to go get in my car. Hello, Eden. How's it going? I went out to go to my car, and we had a snowpocalypse. We had this blizzard that came in. There was about 6 inches of snow against the door. Luckily, it was kind of like fluffy, light kind of snow, and so I was able to push the door a few times to like make a path into the snow. But then I got out there and I scraped all the windows on my car and I started my car, and then I was looking and I was like, I'm not even gonna get out of the parking lot, because I drive, so my car, Pearl, she is lovely and delightful. She's a graceful lady. She is a Buick Encore. If you do not know what a Buick Encore is, if anybody remembers, back in the day, I used to drive a Geo Metro. Her name was Tawanda. And so that Geo Metro, it was wild, but not exactly an off-road kind of vehicle, right? A Buick Encore is basically a Geo Metro that took steroids and is like a little bit taller. And so it's not very big. It's not an off-roader. Yes, Eden, you are in New Zealand, right? You don't get snow in New Zealand? I don't know much about the climate. It's gonna be a day. It's gonna be a day, y'all. And so then as I was looking around, I was like, Pearl is never gonna get out of this parking lot. And even if I get out of this parking lot, I don't know what the streets are like. And even if I get through the streets, because I live on kind of one of the main sort of like the emergency route, like a main kind of avenue in town. So it gets plowed pretty early, but I was like, there's no way my snow people have been here, so there's no way I'm going to get into my driveway. So I was like, I guess I'm just sleeping in the office. So last night, I have this space where I record and where I do my day job, and then I rented the little office space right across. It's just like a little closet kind of office, but I use it for storing props and costumes. And luckily, I have lots of faux fur things to build a little nest. Hello, Grace. How's it going? And so I had this like fur rug, this like kind of long, skinny runner kind of rug that was pink faux fur. So I put that down. I had a couple pillows, and I had a Cruella de Vil fur coat from from a costume, so I put that on, and just kind of laid on the floor and slept. So I slept here, and then I had meetings this morning, so I couldn't go home right away. So I was getting all the stuff I needed to finish, and I was like white knuckling it because I also ran out of soda. So I went on my way here to do the live tonight. I picked up some new, because caffeine fuels my soul and keeps me from committing heinous crimes. And so I'm like white knuckling it. And so finally at about 1:30, I finally just like finished up, and I put in my team chat. I was like, I'm going home for a few hours. If anybody needs me, just Slack me and I'll message you back later. And so I went home and I had some chicken nuggets and I watched a couple episodes of Mom, and then I took a long ass nap. And then I went to the grocery store and then like took a shower, finally felt like a human again. And so I took a shower and came here, and now we're going to do live. So that was my little office nightmare. Eden got to travel to another part of New Zealand to see snow. Oh, okay. You live in Wellington and no snow here. Okay. I used to work at the International Center on campus years and years ago when I was in undergrad. And we had somebody from New Zealand, and they do this thing every year. The International Center sponsors it. I don't know if they're still... I know the building is no longer around because they tore it down. So I don't know if the International Center is the same, like International Programs, International Center. But they do a thing every year called... I know the event still exists. Hello, Don. How's it going? They do an event called... the Feast of Nations. And one year there was this beautiful man from New Zealand. He was so gorgeous. And he came and did a traditional dance. And he did it in like this little loincloth, and they had like a piece of regalia that I think it was, I don't remember if it was like porcupine quills but it was some like, there was like natural beads and stones and things, and then had these long kind of white, it might be the haka. I'm not entirely sure, and it's been 20 years-ish. So but I just remember he was in a loincloth, and but he did this like interesting dance, like this traditional dance, and it was really cool to watch, and it was just nice to see a beautiful man dance for me, boy, dance for me. And so yeah, so that was that's... I don't know a lot about New Zealand, and every once in a while, just my TikTok algorithm is weird, and so every once in a while I get TikToks of... I know there's been like some protests in is it Parliament? Is that what you call your governmental body? Of the people with the face... Is it the Maori? Or the Maori? I don't know how to say it. But where they've been having some protests, and they've been performing like in the Capitol building. So I don't have a lot of New Zealand knowledge, but I know a little bit, just a very little bit. And even that I don't know very well, but so that's what's going on. Oh, excuse me. So we have some things to talk about. We're going to talk about Dede Signature, and we're going to talk about Dieverune Cosmetics. I think we'll maybe do a little bit of swatching of Dieverune. That's another one that I don't know how to say. I just come on here. I'm just a mouthy drag queen on the internet. I don't always know how anything is pronounced. So just let me live. I'm trying my best. But this Dieverune, I decided to try this company because this palette right here, the Magnetic Mineralia, pretty girl. Sorry, this Pepsi. That is still warm because it just came from the grocery store, and like if there's anything that makes me gassy, it's warm soda. So I apologize in advance, but also pretty girl. And so here is this beautiful palette. It's kind of like muted, but I'm very interested in these shimmers. Now that I have it, we're going to swatch it because I'm going to put my little conspiracy theory hat on again, because you know how there seem to be certain companies that like... Because a lot of these indie brands, I mean, we all know they don't own their own labs. They're working with manufacturers. And manufacturers obviously are going to work with individual brands. And they're going to, customize things. There's no question. I'm not like saying that this is some white label picked out of a catalog. That's not what this is about. What I'm saying is that sometimes I see brands, and once I've got enough of their products, I start to feel like, oh, I feel like maybe these two companies order from the same manufacturer, because even if they're customizing for different companies, they're going to have like an eyeshadow base. Because if you're a manufacturer of any kind, that's how you make your money, is in bulk, right? The fewer like the fewer units that you make and the fewer you can use. Hi, Grace. Did I say hi, Grace, earlier? I hope I did. I'm a little addled today. I saw when you came in, but what was I saying? Oh, so bulk. So that's the whole thing. Because if you remember that whole thing with Manny MUA with the little compacts, the compacts that had all the little facets on it or whatever, and he was like trying to say that Makeup Revolution copied him, and Makeup Revolution was very professional, and they came out because they're adults, and so they came out and they were just like, we went to a trade show and we were shown this packaging from no less than 3 manufacturers, and so we bought it, we used it. We're gonna look into this and find out, because Manny MUA, and this is the thing, I made a video about this. It's a few years old now. But if you go on my channel and search copying, I talk about how we need to stop using the phrase copying in the beauty space because I hate it. And I've softened a little bit, but I still mostly feel that way. And but one of the things I talked about was this Manny MUA thing, and how, you know, a manufacturer, because Manny did this big thing where he showed this paperwork showing that he had helped design this packaging. What he did not show was a legal agreement saying that he had exclusive rights to that. And I don't believe he did, because he's you know, a small self-funded indie brand as far as I know. He doesn't have any big investors or anything. Everything that he's done has been self-funded. And if you want to say, I want you to design this packaging and I'm the only one who gets to use it, that's going to be much more expensive than like, hey, I'm going to make this custom packaging. The manufacturer makes it for you, and then they mass produce it in other colors, other varieties, and offer it to other companies. You know, maybe there's a clause where you get exclusivity for X number of months or a year or whatever. I don't know all the contracts, obviously, but that's like how people make money. So the more exclusive you want it to be, the fewer units overall that are going to be produced by the manufacturer, the more expensive it is. And so, like those compacts, Lunar Beauty, and I love that Makeup Revolution didn't get into drama. They were just like, we're going to look into this, and they pulled it for a couple weeks. Like they pulled it for a little while, and they did a little investigation to make sure everything was on the up and up. But they were just like, we went to a trade show, we were shown this packaging, we purchased it. We did nothing wrong. Because Manny MUA, of course, is making videos about how Makeup Revolution copied me and it's just, I hate that language. It's so grade school. It's so stupid. I can't take it. What was all that about? Oh, all that was to get to the fact that just looking at this and looking at the shadows in the pan, and I wanted to take pictures before I swatched it, and I did, and so I think we'll do a little bit of swatching, because my little like brain, where I'm starting to see like similarities, because I've talked a lot about how Give Me Glow and Clarity Cosmetics, they have very similar formulas for both their mattes and shimmers. Yeah, what was I saying? Where was I going? They have very similar formulas for both mattes and shimmers, and they've both like changed their pan sizes at around the same time. So like Give Me Glow used to do all their stuff in big 36mm pans. Clarity did all their stuff in big 6mm pans. Give Me Glow switched to square pans. Clarity switched to square pans. You know, the round pans that Give Me Glow did, they did in smaller 26mm. Clarity started doing 26mm. So I don't know for a fact. All I know is that the formulas feel very much the same. I have the same performance, the same everything. The packaging is very similar. And I know that they probably order from like different places, but if you're hooked up with a manufacturer that maybe also has a packaging arm or like works closely with a packager, it can be very similar. So all of that to say, like once I got this in my hands and started looking at it and started feeling it, I'm like, ooh, I'm getting Bella Butte, I'm getting Ensley Rain kind of vibes, because that's a combination, that's a like pairing that I've had for a long time as well. Because I've always told people, if you're done with Ensley Rain like I am because of the whole transphobia bullshit, people of course must be inspired by others and put their, yeah, exactly, they have to like do something different with it. And just having the same base, I think that's just, you're ordering from a place that makes an eyeshadow base. I think that's and I've heard that before, that Clarity and Give Me Glow owners are good friends, and so it would make sense that she would like introduce her friend to like a lab or whatever. So like all that, like it kind of lines up in my head that they're maybe ordering from the same places. Now they're doing very different color stories, they're doing different packaging styles, but the formulas feel very the same. As I was looking at this, and as I was looking sort of the quality of these shimmers, like the flakiness, the way that they're put together. It feels very Bella Beauté Bar. It feels very Ensley Rain, which I love because neither of those brands, I don't watch Ensley Rain again because of the transphobia, but from what I remember and what I've seen so far, I haven't seen either brand do a color story like this. So you're still getting unique color stories. You're getting unique perspectives. The packaging is beautiful. Andromeda, who's the one this is a collab with, they said on here that the cover illustration was done by a tattoo artist that they like. And so, like, you still get very different things, but this makes me... It looks like it's going to be something that's very similar in performance to Bella Beauté Bar, so I'm very excited. The new release from who? From Clarity? From who? Let me know, Alex. There can't be a makeup factory for each... Exactly! Exactly. That's the thing, is that, like, white labeling is a whole different thing. And even that, I don't think white labeling is always terrible. I think that if you're going to white label your shadows, I think it probably, in this market with the saturation, it behooves you to maybe then put a little bit of money into the packaging to make it look less white label-y if possible. Oh, I haven't seen the new Dieverune. I haven't really followed them. This is kind of my first little dip into the brand, so I'm excited. Yeah, exactly. I think you're exactly right, Dawn. There can't be a factory for every single brand. It's just not feasible. And so they're going to have a base that they start with, and then they're going to... so all of that was to say that if you are also on the No Ensley Rain train like me, you may have another option of brands to look at where the performance and the style of shadows is very similar, but has, again, different options, different packaging, all of that kind of stuff. Because the packaging feels very similar to Bella Beauté Bar. Like, even the way that it's, like, embossed, the wrapping of the, like, sticker on the cardboard packaging, the weight of the cardboard packaging, they're magnetic like Bella Beauté Bar is. So it feels very Bella Beauté Bar to me. Yeah. Oh, let's see. I think I feel that Cryptine, I've seen ads for Cryptine and I haven't pulled the trigger yet. Oh, it has a similar formula to Bella Beauté Bar also. I'm wearing Cryptine Emerald City. Is that the... I think there was a green palette, and I think that might be the one, because I saw that and I was like, ooh, green. I mean, that's what's usually going to pull me in. Even this has, like, some kind of swampy, acid, chartreusey kind of greens, but usually a green will pull me in. But I have seen ads for Cryptine, so it's nice to know that they're like Bella Beauté Bar, because I love Bella Beauté Bar. I really, really do. So if they are similar... Thank you for letting me know that, because I definitely will. That's another brand. I was just, not too long ago, I was just going on and on about how I've, like, limited the number of new brands that I try. And then now I just, like, I'm like, ooh, Dieverune, let's try that. Cryptine, let's try it. So I'm starting, it's always, everything old is new again, right? It's a cycle. It always goes. So I had limited down, and now I'm, like, finding new ones to replace them. Yeah, I love Bella Beauté Bar. It's the green. Oh, I love green. Green is my favorite. Simply Posh has a color story like this too. Ooh, interesting. Simply Posh. Oh, I think I have a Simply Posh. I don't think I've ever used it. I think it's a citrus palette. Yeah, I do. And I love new indie brands. I love not finding new indie brands. I'm so bored with mainstream brands. There's not much that's happening. I did buy one thing on the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty so far. I was going to buy two, but one of them was sold out by the time I remembered to go back. Because I'd filled my cart, because I had looked up the days, and I was like, Wednesday. Wednesday's the day. Well, I didn't remember until like 1 in the afternoon. So I got two of these like serum luminizers from REM Beauty. The way they're described, they sound kind of like the Flawless Filter or like this Too Faced, and I do like products like this, but they came in very interesting colors. Like, usually all of these come in shades that are like skin tone with some like glow. And so, but there was like a peachy pinky with a gold shift, and one that was kind of more silvery purple, I think. And so I ordered those two because they were half off, and I was going to get the Cinema Secrets blush cleaner. Anything with blush and brush is hard to say. And I was going to try that, but it was sold out by the time I remembered to go back. It was already taken out of my cart. Hello, Tanya. How's it going? I always get behind. I start talking. Hello, Tanya. Don has a question. Don, what is your question? Leave it in the chat and I will, as I scroll down. Eat new exciting. Do you have the old version or the new version of Citrus Punch? I think I have the old version. I think I got mine. I got it a long time ago, and then it kind of sat in a pile when I got crazy with busy and with work. And that was like not a whole sentence, and it took a second to put it together. I'm tired, y'all. This week has really put me through it. So I think I have the old version. I don't think I have the new one. Hello, Mom. People saying hello to Mama Champagne. I wish Cinema Secret's scent wasn't so strong. Ooh, I haven't tried it. I've heard how good it is. And so I've been wanting to try it. Let's see, but it works so well. I try it. Yeah, I've heard really good things about it. I do like the Real Techniques brush soap, but I have heard the Cinema Secrets is really, really good. So I wanted to try it at half off, but it does not seem like that's gonna happen. I wanted the Bella Beauté bar original Smoky Glam, but I don't think is ever coming back since they released. Yeah, I think I have the new version. I don't think I have the old one. I heard the shimmers are hard pressed in that version. That's the only, oh. Yeah, I swatched it a little bit, and I feel like when I swatched it, I never did a look with it, but I feel like even just swatching it, it got a little bit of hard pan. Now, that can sometimes be the oils on your finger, but also whenever that happens, I'm a little bit like, okay, let's keep an eye on this. You have the original Smoky Lamp. I love it and surprised hardly anyone talked about it. Yeah, I feel like I heard about it a couple times. I mean, I watch Angelica Nykvist, and she usually talks about anything from... Bella Beauté bar. And so I feel like I heard her talk about it, and I think she did something when the revamped one came out. But I just, at the time, I wasn't super, I hadn't really tried Bella Beauté bar yet. I hadn't really decided that that was one of the brands that I was really after, but I was kind of curious because she just kept talking about them. And so, yeah, so Bella Beauté bar, I have the new one, but I was not really purchasing when they had the old one. I love it. Surprisingly, hardly. I thought for sure it would be the palette of the moment for a while. Yeah, I thought so too, because we were having that like clean girl moment where everybody was doing like no makeup. Ooh, let me also make sure I have not toggled to all messages. So if I missed any, oh, so Dawn might have asked her question. I was wondering, I was like, so Cinema Secrets, just need a little on the brush. It kind of gets sucked up into the brush hair. Swipe it on a towel and it's clean, and immediately dry. Just strong. Interesting. It was my first from the brand. Dawn, did you ask your question? You had said question, and then I didn't see a question. I'm wondering if it got edited out. Let me scroll. All right. It was my first from the brand. Okay. Dawn, if you still have a question, let me know, because I'm not seeing it in there. But, oh, you didn't have a question. It said question. Didn't you say question? I thought you did. Oh, it says question, then there's a pink hand. Oh, was there somebody named question? Like, was question in there, not named question on your birth certificate? Question. Only in DC Comics. Yeah, okay. Well, that's okay. If you don't have a question, you don't have to have a question. But, yeah, so we're going to get to Dieverune. I don't know how to say that either, but Dieverune is how I like to say it. I like to put that loon in there. Oh, you said Tanya, and then hi. On mine, it says question. I don't know what. If anything gets weird, I just assume YouTube is up to something. All right. Before we do any swatches of the Dieverune, let's talk about Dede Signature. Because I have some Dede Signature palettes here. And I'm trying to decide, because I do like Dede Signature, and I'm thinking about doing a palette, I almost said palette bingo, not a palette bingo. That could be fun, but Makeup Thunderdome, where I rank them. Hello, Eclipse. Say hello, Eclipse. I will sub. Well, hello. Please subscribe. Hello. Yeah, so it's Eclipse DW. Welcome to the chat. So let's talk about Dede Signature, because I have some palettes. Now, I do have a few. I got a few in their like Black Friday sales, so they've been sitting for a little bit. And I've played with them a little bit, but I haven't done a lot of content. But we do have the Chromebook Volume 1, which is a lot of beautiful multi-chrome, duochrome shadows. And I did also, in the last order, I ordered their lock-in base in black, because I wanted to try some of their like duochrome and multi-chromes with a black base. And so I thought, why not use their base that they came out with? Then we have the Chromebook 2, which is a whole lot more of those kind of shimmery shades, and then these 3 matte shades along the bottom. Then we have the Fearless Holiday. So this was 2024's holiday palette, I believe. I believe this was not this past year, but the year before. Festive Elegance was this year's Christmas palette, and I do really like this one. It's a beautiful green, red, and gold. That's what I need for Christmas. And then we have Broken Jewels. Beautiful, beautiful jewel tones. We have From the Roots, which is also beautiful, beautiful, beautiful shades. And then the most recent one, the one that I ordered from their Valentine's sale and then ordered the black base at the same time. This is the Sweethearts and Secrets. So here is my quandary, my conundrum. I have one Dede palette and it's super pigment. It's a, oh, those Quints, I remember those. Didn't they have like a series of like 3 or 4 of them? I was very interested. So then I have a question. So except for the Chromebook Volume 1, so this is round pans and these are all glued in. All of these are, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I like the color stories. I think the color stories are interesting. They're not necessarily catering perfectly to me, but I like the shades. I kind of like the selection of colors. And if I'm doing a ranking, I go back and forth because sometimes if they're magnetic, I like to rearrange them. And that's the source of my conundrum, is that I'm trying to decide if I want to rearrange these, because I was like, well, I'm getting to the point now where I have enough. I mean, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I could do a Thunderdome and rank these 7, but then I feel pressured to keep them in their original arrangement. Or do I rearrange them and then rank my sort of like perfect palettes? I also now, because I'm trying to like be a geriatric TikToker and I've been trying to, I hate it. I'm Gen X, so saying things like this just feels cringe, but like clearly I'm trying to do more social media stuff and I'm trying to like put out more content and I'm trying to be more thoughtful about my content in terms of like featuring brands and things. And so obviously, if a brand's going to have a palette featured, they would probably prefer that it's the original arrangement rather than my updated. But I'm more likely to use it if I update it to my color story. And Dion is very, very good. Very, very good about like remembering what she puts where. So like when she rearranges her Natasha Denona, she'll be like, this is my bronze palette, but here's 3 from Retro Glam and 2 from here. And like she knows all that stuff. I have 2 brain cells and they fight all the time. So like I am just going to put them in a new arrangement and be like, ooh, pretty colors. Like that's going to be it for me. That's all. This lesbian math teacher cannot do the math. So I'm like, oh, do I do it? Because then I feel like I would be, if I was tagging something, be like, this is the Broken Jewels, then the brand might be like, that colors not in Broken Jewels, what are you talking about? And so I'm trying to decide. I'm not sure. Oh, Eden, so Thunderdome. So I do these on my channel. I have quite a few of them now, but basically what I do is I take all of the palettes in my collection from a brand, and I'm thinking about doing other kinds of things, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I take all of my, I would take all of my Dede Signature, and then I would like rank them. So then basically what I sit down, what my process is, people have different processes for rankings, but basically like I open all the palettes. I have to clear a big spot on my table. I open all the palettes and I just look at them. And then I asked myself, I was like, okay, today somebody comes in, gun to my head, I have to declutter one of these palettes. Which one am I getting rid of? And I look at it and then I pick it. And so then that one gets shut. That's the bottom of the ranking. And that's how I do it, is I do it based on like, if I had to if I had to get rid of, and then the next time, so then I've got however many left, then I go through and I'm like, okay, which one, this is the next one I would declutter. And then I'm like, okay, which one next? And then this one. And I do that until I have my ranking all the way up to number one. So I like to do them. It depends. Some of them have done really, really well on my channel. Some of them, I think it kind of depends on the brand and how much people are interested in them. But I do have a playlist for Thunderdome. So if you want to see if there's any of your like favorite brands featured, you can definitely check out some of my old, for the longest time, the most viewed video on my channel, it was the first one to break 500 views, and it was a Thunderdome of all of the Glamlight Foodie palettes. So I had all of the Foodie palettes except for the pizza palette. Was the only one I hadn't picked up, and so that one wasn't in there. And so that was the bottom of the rank. I was like, well, I didn't like it enough to buy it, so clearly it's in the bottom. And then I ranked all the other ones above that. Take a pic to remember where the shades were, and then arrange them. Yeah, I did take pictures because I was like, in case I want to do anything on my website, I'll take pictures so that I remember how they are. I know that I would never remember what's where, and I think once I rearrange them, I'll like them better. But then part of me is like, what if you try to tag the brand? What if you tag the brand? And it's like, who cares? It doesn't really matter. Yeah, I hope you'll like them. If you like ranking videos, I have fun with them, and actually, I was very excited. This is part of why I'm a Blend Bunny fan forever, is because I did my ranking of Dieverune Cosmetics, and the next palette that she put out was the Machina palette, which was actually something she worked on with her dad right before he passed away, so it meant a lot to her. But that was the first PR package I've gotten on YouTube, like since I've been on YouTube, was I had put it up on Instagram and I had tagged it, and she watched it, and she reached out over Instagram and she's like, I love drag queens, I love what you did, this meant a lot, how would you feel about me sending you my next release? And I was like, I would love it. And then I made a video with the Machina palette. She also included the face palette, the Forget Me Not palette, because then she's like, is there anything else you want from the line? And I was thinking about it, I was like, I think I have everything except for the Forget Me Not. So she did send the Forget Me Not. So I really appreciate that. I mean, it's really, when you're a small creator, to have somebody like reach out and notice, somebody who's not like Mama Champagne. We love that Mama Champagne is always here. We love her support, but it is sort of, she's not hard to reel in most of the time. I usually can get her to watch my content. Getting a brand owner or something like that is a little bit of a different story. So I do have a soft spot in my heart for Blend Bunny, because I had gotten PR from one other brand before that. An older version of my website, janessaj.com, was actually like doing really well for a while. It's a whole mess. Maybe I'll tell a story time about that some other time. But I was getting a lot of traffic, and I actually reached out to Lit Cosmetics and was asking them just about their pro stuff or whatever. And this was around the time that Lit Cosmetics spent a short time in Sephora. They got like a little, not even like a full end cap, but just like a little display. They went into Sephora and they made these little kits. That's where the little mini versions of the glitter glue that she has. And so she was like, so she did an interview, and then she's like, we're making these kits for Sephora. If I send you some, like, you can have some for you, and then if you want to give them to friends, or even if you want to do a giveaway on your site, if you just want to tell people that we're having this in Sephora. And I was like, yeah. So I've only ever gotten PR from 2 brands, and they still live in my heart because I absolutely love them. You should start playing hard to get. Yes. Let's see, the websites might have a list of the shades too. That's true. Like, I could check that too. Although sometimes they don't have a sticker on the bottom. I haven't looked at Dede Signature to see if they have stickers. Sometimes they don't put the sticker on the bottom. If it's some brands, that's what I don't get. Even if they have singles, if they put the single into a palette, they don't put the sticker on. I'm like, oh. Alex loves the Thunderdomes. Thank you. I love doing the Thunderdomes. And it's still worth it to me to do them because, like I said, some of them do really, really well. Some of them kind of like, meh, they don't really do that well. But I love doing ranking videos. I think it's a lot of fun. I just think it's fun. And it's fun to see if people have the same ranking as you, if they like the same things you do. Also, the background of the palette therein affects how they view the color. Absolutely. So happy. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and so I really appreciate that from Blend Bunny. And so like Blend Bunny has my heart because that was really special. And we had this like really wonderful like back and forth on Instagram, just kind of talking about stuff because it was just a moment. It was just a moment, and it was the moment that we needed. And yeah, it was just very sweet. And so you know, Blend Bunny is always going to be on my list. All right. Mom playing hard to get. I've gotten PR from Black Opal eons ago, and it was their skincare. Ooh. Before I even had a channel, I was heavily on IG at the time. Yeah. And that's the thing is like some brands trying to figure out like some brands are more involved on some places than others. And I feel like anytime I've tagged Dede Signature on Instagram, I feel like she's at least interacted with it in some way. Because that's another thing I keep an eye on, right? Like my time has been wild, so I haven't had as much time. And so like usually if I'm painting a face, I'm also doing it for a show. And so a lot of times I have to plan around a specific outfits or different kinds of looks or whatever. But just sitting down to play and paint a face, I have to be more selective of what I'm using. And so that doesn't mean I'm going to limit myself to the brands that like repost and interact and all that kind of stuff, but it definitely like there's more incentive to do that, right? Like, and that's where I think people like the whole discussion about like PR and all that kind of stuff is because I don't at all, because there are some people who just think if you get PR you can't be trusted, whatever, and like that's how they feel about the big influencers and all that kind of stuff. I don't believe that at all. Now there are people like Michaela, people like that, who it's clear that they're getting so much PR and they have no investment in these brands, they don't really care. But for me, like it's not that I'm gonna give special treatment to like a brand that were to send me something for free, but because it happens so rarely and I'm such a little influencer, content creator, whatever, well, all that, but like I'm going to notice it more, and I'm going to have a soft spot in my heart for them. Like Blend Bunny, they'd have to do something pretty drastic to get on my naughty list, because I appreciate what they do. I appreciate the way that they interact with content. Singe Beauty is one that I haven't used their stuff as much, but anytime I do, they tag it, they repost it, like all that kind of stuff. So I've talked about this before, so I'm sorry if this is repetitive or whatever, but so that's my conundrum, is I'm trying to decide what to do about these, because I love all the individual shades, but I feel like the color stories are not like perfect for me. And so I think I might rearrange these. I think that could be fun. And so, yeah. So I think that's the thing, is like, I don't think that PR makes you dishonest, but I also know that I have such an automatic soft spot for Blend Bunny. So I'm aware of that. So I understand that like, sometimes if I'm like going on and on and on about Blend Bunny, now I also feel like they deserve it. I also really like their products, and so that's why I used them and had the interaction in the first place, is because I already loved them. And so there's that kind of dynamic as well. So it's one of those things where I'm like, you know, trying to be transparent as possible. And I think all you can really do, sometimes you don't even know your own blind spots. You don't know your own sort of biases for or against something. And so it's just like, just talk about it. Just be willing to talk about it. It's when people like Michaela, I think that's part of why she's untrustworthy. Not because she gets PR or because she does sponsorships or whatever. It's because she never talks about things just like authentically. Like it always feels like a script. And now she's trying to like recapture people. So she made a video where she said everything she does is like calculated and planned. And it's like, yeah, we know, like we get it. That's not the flex you think it is to admit that. Like we know that everything you do is like planned and choreographed and all of those things. Rankings, collection, and swatch videos are what got me hooked on YouTube. Yeah, I've done a couple swatch videos and I've kind of stopped. I like kind of swatching and playing on lives. I think to me that's more fun. Because filming swatch videos is a pain in the ass. And so I've only ever done 2 of them. One of them was Makeup Revolution of all things. I think I did their peach palette. And then this might be old enough. I think it might be Jeffree Star's Blood Money palette. Might be the other. That's a long time. That's way back in the dark days when we were still still in the Jeffree Star world, Jalopity Staircase. I don't care for Michaela. I don't feel one way strongly either way. Like, I know that I would never trust her for recommendations. Like, she's shown that she's not a trustworthy person. But that's the thing, is like some people, like, I don't know what it is. There's something in the Gen Z crowd, younger millennials, where like sometimes if they're mad about something, they're just going to be mad about it forever. And they're willing to put the time and the energy into being mad about it. And so like they'll see Michaela And now it's like years later, and they'll be like, "What about the mascara? Did you ever tell us you wore lashes?" All this kind of stuff, and it's like, I know that she wore lashes. You could see the fucking lash band. Using a mascara doesn't give you more lashes. Like, that's not how science works. So we all know it happened. I don't need her to talk about it. I don't really care. I'm not going to invest the time or energy in it. I just, like, if I see a piece of content and it's Michaela recommending a product, I just ignore it, because I'm like, because at the end of the day, and this might have also been in the copying, or maybe it was in a different ranty video, but at the end of the day, we're all responsible for our own choices. We're all responsible for our own shopping choices. And so I always kind of side-eyed a little bit the people who are like, people had Morphe codes and they didn't tell us that it was affiliated, and blah, blah, and it's all this kind of stuff. And it's like, some people, I don't know, maybe people really are that naive to the way the world works. If somebody has a code and they're giving you a discount code, I go in assuming that that's affiliated. I assume that they're making a kickback. That's how the internet, that's how advertising, long before the internet, that's how advertising worked. If you were shilling something, if you saw a celebrity in a commercial, you knew they were getting paid for that commercial. Like, so like when somebody all of a sudden is like, use my code Jack Attack at Morphe for 10% off, you didn't think that they were getting a kickback for that? Like, you needed somebody to tell you? And I get that the SEC has like all these disclosure things or whatever, but I also think that people need to use their like common sense a little bit. And and so like at the end of the day, I can listen to whoever crow about whatever products they have or whatever. I make the decision on what I spend my money on, and clearly I make that decision a lot. But I just don't have time for all these people who want to like foist the responsibility for their poor choices off onto an influencer or content creator or whatever. I don't know. When people are overly dramatic, it's annoying, like Jacqueline. Yeah, and I never liked Jacqueline's content. I watched a few videos, but not very many. But I liked her makeup. Like, that's the thing, is I didn't need... And now we found out she didn't own it anyway. So all the people want to be like, how could you, blah, 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 support this person and all this kind of... Well, technically I was supporting Morphe because they owned that brand outright and just paid her a licensing fee. And she never would admit it. She still, to this day, has not admitted it, that she was not the CEO. The girl. I mean, Jen Love has like gone deep into those court documents, has shown unequivocally that Jaclyn Hill was never the CEO or owner of that company. Now, she at one point, I think why she maybe talks that way, and maybe she doesn't even fully understand, I don't really know. I think sometimes we assume too much about how much people know or understand about legal matters. But like, she apparently had started like Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics. And I think that she had bought those bullet tubes. That's why the initial lipstick launch had those little JH. Because when she was doing it on her own, and it was Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics, she did file like trademarks and things for that. But the lipsticks were never produced through Jaclyn Hill. She bought those tubes. Morphe paid for the lipstick bullets. They put them in the ones she already had, and then they paid her a licensing fee. And so, like, so then maybe that's why she has it in her head that she was a CEO, because she was going to start Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics, and then it just turned into something else. It turned into something with Morphe. Yeah, I'm not big into investing energy into drama. I don't watch drama channels, hang on to that crap. I stopped that a long time ago because I found that it was affecting my mental health. My mental health is a carnival ride at the best of times. And when I was watching like drama channels, I would get so negative and snippy, and I was mad about everything. And I was like, it's these channels that are impacting my mood this way, because that's what they have to do. Drama channels are like every other channel on YouTube. If you want to grow and you want to make money and you want to get monetized and you want to do all this stuff, you have to keep the algorithm happy. And you have to keep the algorithm happy by feeding it. That's why at the end, I always say, circle back, leave a comment for the algorithm, help me feed the beast, all that kind of stuff. You have to be consistent. That's one of the things that feeds the algorithm. And so with drama channels, well, what if there isn't drama on a regular scheduled cadence the way that you need to put out videos? Well, then we get real loose and interpretive with what drama is or should be or what we're going to talk about. That's why I had to stop, because I mean, they were getting into everything, and it was all these people, like, it was all, so many of them were just the same, and they were always just people who were like, I've got the receipts. They didn't fucking have the receipts. They never had the receipts. Bitch was getting store credit every day because they never had the receipts. What they had was they would have a tweet or a post or something. And sometimes the tweet or the post was spicy and it was something being worth talked about. But sometimes it was just like a vague post or whatever. And then all of a sudden they would be like, well, and this means this. And they're talking about this person. It's like, you're no longer in the room of receipts. The receipt is the tweet. Your receipt is that this tweet exists. And now you're giving us your interpretation, your opinion, what you think it means. That's not factual. That's not receipts. That's you giving commentary on this thing. And then when drama channels got a bad name, everybody just rebranded as commentary channels. And now there are some that are actual like social commentary where it's more like video essay. But a lot of like commentary channels were just drama channels with lipstick on. Like it was just, they just tried to pretty it up, but it was the same bullshit. And I was like, I don't have any time or energy for this at all. After that monologue, let me see what I missed in the... Tanya, I was surprised to see Tati live a few minutes ago. She was really good until she came out with Halo. Yeah, I go back and forth. I don't know how I feel about Tati. I've stopped watching her content because it does feel a little bit, I don't know. I don't want to say fake exactly, but it also just is not really for me. It's not the kind of thing that I like smaller creators. I like smaller channels. I like it where it's more like this, where we have real chats. I don't want to be on a live chat with Tati and 200,000 people or however many people, or 10,000 people, whatever it is, like where there's no interaction, there's no chat. I'm not interested in that. And she gets so much PR that it's just like, on and on, everything is PR, all this kind of stuff. I don't have time for it. People are too sensitive about things that should be I don't, and that shouldn't be such a big deal. Like at the end of the day, it's all colored powders and creams and liquids, and we put it on our face and we wash it off. Like it doesn't have to be the end of the world. It doesn't have to be. We're getting a little too crazy with some of this. Don, I think Jacqueline probably had people advising and all, and she didn't even understand all the truth. And of course, I don't really know. I don't have any behind the scenes, but the impression that I got from Jacqueline, because some of it she just won't ever say that she wasn't the CEO, but I also feel like whenever there was drama, I always got the impression that like somebody at Morphe or whatever would just give her like an excuse. They'd be like, oh, it was white gloves or whatever. She would immediately go into panic mode and like make a video, and like she would try to sound so factual of like, it's this and it's this and it's this and it's this. And then like a month later, it would be proven that that wasn't the thing. And then she'd have to come out and be like, oh, we've done more research and it's this and it's this and it's this and it's this. And I think she had a tendency to like speak without thinking and without verifying. And so I think that she wanted to like come on and make a statement. And she was like, people are mad at me. What do I tell them? And they'd be like, it's this. And she would just immediately repeat that and like go to the end to like defend it. And then like a month later, it would be something else. And it would be like, oh, actually it was this thing. And then she would be like, this is the thing. This is the new thing. Pay attention to this thing. So I think she just had a tendency, and then she doesn't understand why people don't trust her. And it's like, well, because you just kind of say whatever. And it is, again, there's more of that manipulation. But Jacqueline, so I just have never liked her content, but her makeup, there are things from that Jacqueline beauty line. When I hit the end of them, I'm going to be sad. We're going to have a sad day. We're going to have a moment of silence for all those products. Let's see. Tanya, oh yeah, the Tati drama, she lost a lot of, yeah. That was weird. That was when I was really going back and forth with Jeffree Star, because when she put out the Hey Sister video and there was all the stuff with James Charles and Jeffree Star, and like that whole thing was going on, and there was all this kind of stuff going on, and I was like, what is going on? And Jeffree Star was having his own things, and so I did a video that was called like Goodbye Jeffree Star, and I think it was a Thunderdome, I think it was a ranking, where I ranked all my Jeffree Star and was like, I'm not going to talk about Jeffree Star on my channel anymore. Then like a year later, Tati came out with that, it was the one after Bye Sister, where she's all in the room has all this golden glow, and she was talking about how she feared for her life, and she didn't want people reading tarot cards for her and shit like that, and was like going going on and was talking about all this stuff. And then Jeffree Star put out a video the same day, and it was clear that there was some sort of like, or no, this was with James Charles, and she was afraid of Jeffree Star and all this kind of stuff. Then at some point later, maybe like a year after that, then she put out a video and Jeffree Star put out a video the same day, and they were clearly scripted by lawyers. And that's when I was just like, that's rich people shit. I was like, all this time and energy that I've spent worrying about all this Jeffree Star, Tati, James Charles stuff, why did I invite that into my life? Why would I ever invite that into my life? Like, I've spent so much of my own precious time and energy, and this is just rich people shit. This is rich people fighting and making agreements behind the scenes. Everything was behind the scenes. Here's my other little thing, and I'll probably break this at some point on my own, but like the only behind the scenes I want is like in a documentary where they take you backstage at like a movie or a theater production. I want actual behind the scenes. People are like, oh, there's stuff happening behind the scenes. If you can't tell me what it is, don't fucking talk about it, because for all I know, you're just making shit up. You don't have an excuse, so you're just going to tell me there's things happening behind the scenes that I can't talk about. Well, if you can't talk about it, why are you making a fucking video? Why are you making a video if you can't talk about it? You're talking right now. You're talking to say that you can't talk about it. So what the fuck is the point? I have no time. That's the kind of shit I have no time for. Let's see. It was a high school dramedy with the drama channel. Yeah, it was too much. Hello, Pat. I don't know if are you a good witch or a bad witch? Oh my, I never know what that's going to mean. Tati doesn't seem real. I feel like watching an actress. Yeah, she's busy staring at herself in the cinema. Accurate. So true. Haven't watched her in ages. I never bought any of her products. I'm a little sad that I never tried that palette, the first palette that came out. And then when I saw the leaked palette, the next one was going to be the same style of that first Tati palette, but it was going to be like greens and purples and blues. And that hurts my heart because I wish that had been released, because I would have tried that. Because that's the thing, is I don't need, if there's something like with Ensley Rain, like the transphobia, and that's current and that's happening now, and so that's something where I'll be like, I'm not going to buy from that brand right now. I'm feeling the ick. I don't feel happy. You know, people want to go on and on about who you support. I support me. I support me first and foremost. And so I want to do things that bring me joy. And like, so Ensley Rain doesn't bring me joy. I'm not going to throw those palettes away. I still have them in my collection. At some point they may get decluttered because I don't really feel good bringing them on camera. Maybe something will change and I'll bring them back or whatever, but like, it doesn't bring me joy. And so like all of that kind of stuff, I was just like, oh, it doesn't bring me joy. So let's stop it. But like, drama channels were also not bringing me joy, but that palette feels like it would have brought me joy, so I was a little sad about that. I like talking back and forth in the comment sections or chats. Some live streams, big or small, don't talk to people. Yeah, that's big live streams like that where they don't interact, or they just interact occasionally. Sometimes it's best to say I don't know, even if it's a dumb girl thing to do. I think it's dumb for anybody, but like not dumb for anybody. I think it's like the best for anybody sometimes is just to be like, I don't know, let me find out about that. Rather than just making something up or just going with like the first impression. I had one Morphe product and it was Jacqueline's. That was one of the palettes from her vault. Those vault ones had a rough time for Morphe there. I'm liking the new Morphe stuff. I have a Get Ratchet with me with the new Morphe stuff that I filmed ages ago. I promise it's coming. I promise it's coming. Remember when Shane Dawson was flipping out? He's the one. Yeah, I don't care for him. And I never cared for his editing style. I couldn't watch his stuff because it was always like, you'd be at a mid shot, you'd zoom in, you go all the way out, then you'd zoom in, and then it'd be to mid, and then zoom in, and then all the way out, and then mid, and then all the way out. And, like, it was just so, I mean, it was like ADHD on screen. It was too much. Hello, Fabulous Joe. How's it going? And so I just was like, I don't have time. I don't have to, all that stuff. I couldn't watch it. And the minute I turned out to be right. And this is one time where I will toot my own horn, because the minute they announced that they were doing that docu-series with him and Jeffree Star, I was like, that's going to be a big fucking commercial for Jeffree Star Cosmetics. And at that point they hadn't announced the collab or whatever, but I was like, that's not a docu-series. First of all, he's making YouTube videos. He's not making a docu-series. All of his stuff is basically like prettied up drama channel bullshit. And so when they announced it, I was like, that's going to be a big old commercial. And Angie watched the first episode. I don't know if she watched any more than that, but I think I might have been in her house and we watched part of it. I think she like put it on and wanted me to watch part of it or whatever. So I did see a little bit of that, but I didn't watch any of it and none of it of my own volition. But the minute I heard it announced, I was like, it's going to be a commercial. It's going to be a commercial. So, all right, should we do some swatching? That was a fun little diversion, but should we actually get into some swatching? I think Dede Signature. I keep it's been ingrained in me, and so now I'm trying to correct because it's Dede Signature. Let's see, 103. Oh, I bought a totally different color foundation. I just realized with the. I bought new L'Oreal 103. Oh, the one I had that I liked is 101.5. That's right. I went back and I couldn't find it, and I bought a different color. I have so many shades. I like this L'Oreal foundation. If you're looking for if you're oily like me and you want like a soft matte kind of foundation, this L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte, I like it. It's a little bit full coverage if you're not quite the industrial application like I am. It might be a lot, but I do really, really like it. All right, should we do some swatches? Should we take a look? So this is the magnetic. Sorry, I'm also still fighting off this congestion. So this is the Magnetic Mineralia. This is Dieverune Cosmetics and S. Andromeda. Andromeda. They go by Andromeda, I think. And I think they use they, them pronouns. I think, from what I remember. But yeah, so they have created this beautiful purpley neutral. This was like their version of neutral. It says something on the back. I could just read it. Hooked on Phonics worked for me. This is my perfect assortment of neutrals inspired by minerals, both rough rocks and refined gemstones. The cover illustration was done by @Zane Decker Tattoos. Zane has done the majority of my tattoos over many years and is someone I consider a dear friend. Andromeda. Oh, pretty girl. You're drinking your Coke? Are we having a Coke and Pepsi wars, Tanya? I'm such a Pepsi fan. I just love Pepsi. Although I do enjoy the new, well, not new, not really new, but has anybody tried the Coke Float or the Cherry Float Coke? Yeah, I don't know where Dion is. I texted her before I went live. I thought she would maybe stop by, but I hope that she'll get to see this. I hope she's doing well. But yeah, so I do like that, but I think it's just, I was going to say that on the end then, so it's called Cherry Float Coke, but then on the box, it just says cherry vanilla flavored Coke, and they've had cherry vanilla flavored Coke Zero, but I used to hate the Coke Zero that was cherry vanilla. So I don't know if they've reformulated and like changed the balance of the flavors. I actually like this. So either I've softened and I enjoy it now, or they've changed it somewhat, because it's listed as the same, but it's not really the same. Oh Lord, it looks like we're getting Chaz is back, baby. I eat my own egg because I'm not worried where I've been. Okay. We love that for you. We'll love that for you. She's probably asleep. Yeah, she might be napping. Does it squirt, bro? I don't even know what that means. I bet it's grippy. Okay. Haven't seen the Coke Float. What is totally gross is A&W ice cream sundae. Dawn, can I tell you that I actually kind of like that? It grew on me. When I first tasted it, I was like, ew. And it took, but I bought a 12-pack because I couldn't find like a single bottle of it and I wanted to try it. So I got a 12-pack. By the end of the 12-pack, I was convinced. I actually like that. It's weird. It's very strange. And I understand why people don't like it, but I actually really like it. Yeah, it tastes kind of like if you've had a float where like the ice cream has started to melt and you've just got this like root beer ice creamy kind of like, it's kind of like that in a soda flavor. It's weird. It's weird. I bet it's grippy. Are you talking about my NYX the face glue primer? It is grippy. It is a grippy primer. I've used this the last 1 or 2 times that I did my face, and I actually kind of enjoyed this. Not a root beer fan. Oh, I like root beer, but it depends on the root beer. One time, I think Angie and I, for a cold open on a video, we're talking about doing, because I drink zero. I like the zero sugar stuff. Getting A&W Zero, Bark Zero, and there was one other. What's the other root beer that? So A&W, Barks, There's another one that's like a big, that has a 0. Mug. And so I was going to get those 3 and have like the box where I can't see what they are and try to taste test them and tell what they are. Not that I'm some root beer expert. I thought of that and then I've never done it because it's like, it's not like I've ever put myself forward as like a root beer connoisseur. But most people love it. It's really a drink I can't finish, but this one, yeah, it is weird. Cherry Pepsi cream. Yes. I've tried the cherry cream Pepsi. I like it. I like it a lot. That's a very good one. When I went to the grocery store, the section where they usually have it was out. Cream soda is good. Dad's. I haven't seen if Dad's has a 0. We don't get Dad's much around here. Dad's Root Beer. Have you any heard of Faygo? Our Dollar Tree has Faygo. I don't see it out in the wild much, but it is sometimes at our Dollar Tree. Yeah, the mug. Hello, Kayla. How's it going? Barks is trash, but I love the red cream soda is really good. I wish they made a 0 in that, but that thing is basically just like red coloring and sugar. So I don't know how they would make a 0, but Jason likes Dad's Root Beer. Yeah, I've heard of that brand, but I don't feel like I see it very often. Speaking of primers, let me do a little bit of, just to give it something to stick to, I'm going to do a little bit of this NYX face glue primer just on my arm, just to have like a little, because whenever I'm putting eyeshadow on my eyes, I have some sort of primer down. So when I do swatches, I like to have it. Some people prefer it without, but I'm like, I try to mimic what the actual application is going to be as much as possible. I mean, it's not going to be perfect. Faygo's a staple, iconic here in Michigan, specifically Detroit. Yeah, I've seen it at, I know there are places where you can actually just buy it. But we just get it at the Dollar Tree. Like our gas stations don't carry it, but I have seen it at the Dollar Tree. Usually in big, like 2-liter bottles. Not as often the smaller ones are like individual cans. So let me go. I don't know. Should I do all of them? I don't know if I want to do all of them. Some of these neutrals, I don't know if I need to. Let me just start picking shades. This is also why I don't swatch with it. Oh, this is soft. This is a very soft matte. Very silky. Somewhat similar to Bella Vitae Bar, but this is a much silkier, kind of creamier formula even than Bella Vitae Bar. There's that. Oh. Verner's and Bitter Made Chips. I was very excited for these two. So that's the two kind of purple mattes right up here. I definitely wanted to see them. I'm definitely going to have to see these green ones. Let's do some matte ones, and then we'll go and do the shimmers. Because, yeah, it's probably pure sugar. Absolutely. Did I decide to say? Yeah, I decided for now to stick with the blonde hair. I'm kind of liking it, but it does have a little bit more brassiness than I would like. So I'm trying to decide if I want to wait like a week or so. And because I use styling cream, when I put that on, it darkens a little bit. But I might do a color, but I can let it sit for a while. If I do, I'll probably re-bleach it right before I add color, just to make sure it's as open to the color as possible. So here is that kind of chartreusey acid green. And I did 2 dips. So I went in and then like swatched it, and I'm just finger swatching right now. This one does need a little bit of building up. It is a little bit sheer, but I mean, it's basically a neon, so that's not entirely surprising. But yeah, they feel very smooth and very silky. I like the feel of these a lot. Let's do that other green. Oh, so this is just one pass. Look at that green. Look at that green. White Castle in a goodie bag care package. So when I went to a training for my old job, we went to Chicago, and one of the guys that was there could not believe that I had never had White Castle before. We don't have them in North Dakota, and so I'd never had one. So it was like 11:30 at night, and we had work in the morning, and he was like, "I'm gonna go get the keys to the company van. We have to take you to White Castle." And I was like, "Okay." So we went to White Castle, and it was fine. It was not anything that I craved. Verner's is medicinal in Detroit. You sick, have a Verner's and go lay down. I like Dr. Pepper. This is something Mama Champagne turned me on to when I was a kid. Because if I had a sore throat, if you take Dr. Pepper and put it in a mug and put it in the microwave for like a minute, hot Dr. Pepper on a throat is surprisingly good on a sore throat. So good. Yeah. These are gorgeous colors. They're kind of that weird, kind of interesting twist on the colors. Ask Mama Champagne's laughing at stuff. Looks like colors Dion would love. Yeah, I think she would like these. The shadows are very yummy. I love makeup too much. Can you love makeup too much? I think it's always just the right amount. I think it's always the perfect amount. You've only ever had frozen White Castle. Interesting. I feel you, Joe. My mom's cousin who used to live up here always stops at White Castle since she doesn't have one in her area. Yeah, I don't get it. It was fine. Like, it was great. But, like, for late night greasy burgers, I'm always going to go for, like, a Burger King or a McDonald's. Burger King, fight me on it. Burger King is the better burger. I do like Burger King better. But there's something about the McDonald's double cheeseburger. It feels very artificial in the mouth, but I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah, I think you have to be high to it. I was stone cold sober, and so my appreciation was lacking. Let me do a couple of these more neutrally ones and just add them into the mix before we... This is a fun, very cool tone, like stone brown. That's pretty. Ooh, Steak and Shake. We don't have a Steak and Shake around here either. I've had that in an airport before, and I liked it. It was pretty good. So these are beautiful. These are silky. They apply really, really well. This was one swipe. This was one swipe. This one I built up. This one now is 3 swipes. I originally showed it with 2. These 2 are 2. So a little building helps, but they're not really streaky. The only one, this one is a little bit sheer because it is that almost neon, very infused with white pigment kind of thing. Is Makeup Eraser going to take this off? I don't know. Let me grab some of my micellar water from Dieverune Cosmetics. Speaking of them, as we were earlier, let me put a little bit of micellar water on this pad. Oh, yeah, that takes it off really, really nice. Look at that. Oh, now Joe's says ask and has a face on it. I don't know if everybody else is seeing this too, but sometimes on some of them, it'll say ask and then it has whatever your message is. So I don't know if you're all typing that or if that's something that is... And then it's also got like a little icon next to it. YouTube is always on some crazy shenanigans. Charbroiled. Oh, Alex, if I ever get done with my new beauty room, I'll have to come out of retirement, make YouTube. Yeah, I love that. Someday I dream that this disaster around me, if I ever get this put together, it doesn't even have to be all the way put together because it probably never will be, but if I get it to a place where I'm not like embarrassed to show it off and things are somewhat organized, I'm gonna do like an office tour to show you the place where I work, because there's a lot of fun stuff here. Pretty girl, my life, my home, my office, it's kind of like those I Spy books where like every time you look around, you're going to notice something different. Because I just love lots of little like tchotchkes and artwork and knickknacks and fun things. And so every time you look around, you're going to see something different. I love it. So I would love to do an office tour. You prefer BK Whopper over McD's? Gotta have McD's fries and Wendy's nuggets. I like Burger King's fries too because they're thicker. Those little skinny fries from McDonald's, they're good, but they get cold too fast. That's exciting. Love Wendy's spicy nuggets. Jack in the Box. Oh, see, we don't have Jack in the Box either. I would love to see pics of the beauty room when you finish. Yeah, I think I want to do, and we can even do like a live. Like that could be something where I could just pick up my phone and like take you around. Because it's a little wild because I do like my day job here. And sometimes if I'm on like a meeting, if it's not in Zoom, you can put a background up. And so then I always put a background up. But if we're in some other, like sometimes we use like Riverside or some other like program, there's like wigs in the background. So sometimes I'm at my like super boring big kid job and I'll be on a meeting and there's just like wigs hanging out in the background and like toys, like vintage toys that are on the shelves, Golden Girl and She-Ra. And so it's wild. So sometimes people are like, your life looks interesting and fun. And I was like, yep, it sure is. It sure is. I have made that trek around assembling my meal before. Yep. Yeah, sometimes you want different things from different places. Let's do these shimmers. I want to, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's only 6 shimmers. I prefer, if you're going to have a palette of this size, this is a good size, but I would love like an even mix, or even like if this is 15 shades, I would prefer that there were 8 shimmers, 7 mattes. But this is 6 and then 9. So there's 9 mattes, 6 shimmers. Yeah, but also, like, it's not just, like, it's cluttered, and I'm definitely messy. I'm not, like, a great housekeeper, but also it's fun stuff. Like, I also don't keep, like, a lot of boring stuff around. Like, I have fun, interesting. I'm always collecting and finding new little fun decorative things, and so there's definitely a lot of fun stuff to look at. So I'm very excited. At some point, there will be an office tour. Oh, and also, I should say, I've been swatching these. None of these have names, so that's one thing with this palette. The shades don't have names, so I've been trying to kind of show you where I've been going in the palette. But now, I think what we'll do is I'll just start here, and I'll do these two, and then these two, the shimmers in the rows. So we'll do the 6 shimmers. And so, yeah, so we'll just kind of start. Ooh, that's pretty. These feel like Bella Beauté Bar. They do. The mattes even felt even a little more silky than what I think of with Bella Beauté Bar, but the formula does feel very similar, and these flaky shimmers are feeling very familiar. They feel very, very much like Bella Beauté. So I would not be surprised, which is not, I'm not mad about it at all, because I love Bella Beauté bars. Oh, we're doing our 2 guest rooms and garage. There's shit everywhere, but I must actually still know where everything. Yeah, like, I'm fairly organized. Like, I know where things are in the chaos for the most part. But yeah, like, I just, sometimes it's just chaotic and crazy. These definitely have, some of these are the more like flaky, kind of like Bella Beauté Bar has some that are a little bit more flaky. Look at that bronzy brown. I don't even like brown eyeshadow. I'm not even a fan of brown eyeshadow, but look at how beautiful that is. Look at that. Oh my God, that is disgusting how good that is. Now I'm starting to, even if I clean my fingers off in between, I'm starting to have glitter residue. So I'm trying not to mix. Ooh, this one's a little bit more subtle, but I love the shift in it. It's got kind of like a red purple with gold green glitter. Oh, like the base has this kind of reddish purpley plum. So pretty. Okay, let's, where's that little micellar wipe? We'll try to get some of the glitter off the fingertips. I've only got 2 more to do. 2 more to do. Oh, look at that. Such an icy, icy, icy pretty one. Back in my Coastal Scents days, I had the Warm palette. I named all the shadows myself. It was fun. I have a palette from Coastal Scents. I thought about doing either a video or maybe just walking through it in a live. I had planned to do a video, but I didn't get it filmed in time, and then Coastal Scents shut down. But I did my own, like, Friday the 13th themed palette using Coastal Scents, and I used face products and eyeshadows because they had a blank palette that was a combined. So there's the last one, that kind of silvery old gold. Oh, and so I still have it, and somewhere I have the little diagram because I had named all the shades. I had named it after different things in there and all the inspirations, and I was going to do a whole video. And when I was reorganizing, I found that palette, and I'd always planned for, my friend was going to paint me a little thing of Mrs. Voorhees and the Camp Crystal Lake sign to put on the front, and she never got around to doing it. And so I never made the video, and then they shut down, and it didn't seem like it made sense to do it. But this last one is very flaky. So I had to rub in some extra flakiness. But look at how pretty those are. Oh. I remember Coastal Scents. I had a bad allergic reaction to the, oh no! Oh, that's no fun at all. I'm sorry to hear that. I have the Dieverune Silver and Cold palette on the way with Glaminatrix The Old Soul. I was so tempted by Glaminatrix The Old Soul. The only reason I haven't done it is because, to me, when I see it, every time I see it in different lighting, it looks different, but most of the time when I see it, it reminds me of the Lethal Conjuring palette, and so that is what has kept me from ordering it so far. But it's on my maybe list, the Old Soul, because it does look pretty. It's a little bit more neutral than I would like. I'm a big colorful hooker clown, but every once in a while I like these more muted kind of things. Janessa, stop making me want to buy stuff. You're not helping my kind of no buy. Let me tell you, I was on a little bit of a no buy because we were having some budgetary constraints for a little while, and so I was like, we're gonna put a pause on the makeup shopping, and so I did really well. I did really, really well, and then my bonus came in, and I was like, EOP. So when I went to the Philippines for 2 weeks for a training trip for work, and the people that I met there were so lovely. The Philippines has such a like musical culture. I mean, people would just be like working and they would just like burst into song, and I loved it. And because I'm a little bit like that, I talk to myself, I narrate my journey all the time. Sometimes I'll just kind of sing along to myself. One time I was in the like SM Super Mall. Every mall had like their malls had this like theme song. That would play like every third song would be this SM Supermall theme song. But one time I was in there and they were playing Katy Perry's California Girls, and I was shopping and I started singing along and like dancing, and all of a sudden I look up and this woman is watching me and like dancing along. But the reason why I brought up the Philippines is because some of the trainees in the class, they told me what they call it. So when you're like broke because you're waiting for your next paycheck, they call that tain bits. I don't know where that comes from, but they said they call it tain bits. And then when payday hits, it's EOP, which is end of poverty. And so then you have like money for a little while and you splash out. And then you go back into tain bits, and then you're like waiting, and then EOP. So I don't know. I mean, that was the class that I was with. I don't know how widespread that is, but that was I've always remembered that, the tain bits. Because somebody's talking about something, they're like, oh, the tain bits got me, and I was like, what what does that mean? And they were like, that's when you're waiting for payday to come and you're broke. It's tain bits. I was like, okay. And I was like, okay, so I was like, so if that's tain bits, what do they call it? And they go, EOP. And I was like, what do you mean EOP? And they were like, end of poverty. Oh, I loved it. That was a fun trip. I had a lot of fun. It was a beautiful, beautiful place to go. They have a lovely culture. Like I said, very musical. I appreciated that because I'm a very sing-songy person. If you've seen in my videos, a lot of times I'll just start singing randomly. And so, yeah, I have lots of musical moments, so I definitely appreciated that. The brown, silver, and the top shot are the ones. Yeah, they're so pretty. I heard it direct from Glaminatrix for both palettes as they had free shipping to New Zealand. I don't own Lethal Conjuring. Let's see. All of my Lethal are kind of stacked up over here. Not exactly the same, but it feels very similar to me. So this is the Lethal Conjuring. And I felt like there was more, maybe slightly more wine. I haven't looked at it for a moment, but I feel like it reminded me of this. I feel like Old Soul maybe has more of like, some of the like shimmers are more like gold. And then there's maybe some more like wine kind of, instead of like this is just like a grapey purple, but there's maybe more red winey kind of colors. And maybe it doesn't have these kind of more blue tones. So it's not like a dupe, but I felt like it was giving me vibes that were similar to this. And so I've held off for now, but it's definitely one, because I have tried Glaminatrix now. That's another Get Ratchet With Me that has not been edited. This one, I have not used this palette yet. I've swatched the shimmers a little bit. But yeah, I have not had a chance to actually do a look with this one. And so the Conjuring is definitely waiting for me. I love that lenticular. It's very fun. Yeah, so there's so many things that are new that like I've maybe played with a little bit, but I just haven't had a chance to like actually do a look. Oh. Yeah, so those are the swatches from the Dieverune. I think I am going to try to use this in something fairly soon. I'm trying to think. Let me know what do you guys think? What are your thoughts about doing? Oh, I wanted to ask about something else. We'll get to that. What do you guys think about? I don't know how I would set up the camera, but doing a live with rearranging the Dede Signature palettes, because I think I am gonna rearrange them because there's little things like this. I love this because to me, Christmas. Like the palette that's going to be the most Christmas to me is going to be green and red and gold. And I feel like some of these neutrally browns, I could take those out and swap in other greens. And then I would still be able to use it and like add a little bit more red because there's a couple reds in here, but there could be more. And so like this one would go, this one would go, this one would go, this one would go, probably this one would go. This tan would go. And I'd have to see what else I have to swap in, but Glaminatrix is your favorite. I hadn't tried them before. And I actually haven't ordered from the brand before because I was also Tane Bits when they had the Tones of Turd palette. I missed all of their restocks. Excuse me, pretty girl. Every time it came out for a restock and was available, I was broke. I was in between. It was not EOP yet, and so I missed it every time. So I ended up having to go on Mercari, and I paid a stupid amount for it because I wanted the Tones of Turd. And they did have the Grounded palette, which is the same palette, just without the funny April Fool's Day turd packaging. And I was like, I have to have the turd packaging. I mean, that's what makes it funny. So I went on, so Angie was looking for me and she found a listing on Mercari because the ones I had seen were really stupid expensive. And then I found one that was like, it was too much, but it wasn't so much that I was like, I'm not going to do it. So I did end up getting the, yeah, I can't believe I haven't edited that. Yeah, in my brain, that's just already out on my channel and it's not. I need to edit that because I did a Garbage Pail inspired look. And it was the Tones of Turd palette, and then those glosses from Sexy Red, the ones that are like Coochie Juice and Gonorrhea and Booty Hole Brown. I used that. So it was all like kind of themed around trashy makeup names. And so that was my Garbage Pail Kids. You got Grounded because Turd was sold. Yeah, I was tempted. I was like, should I just do it? I was like, it's the same palette. But then I was like, for me, it's the like kookiness of it because the shades look beautiful. They are lovely. They performed really, really well. But I was like, I want it because I want that like shock factor. I love those kinds of products. I love gimmicky, weird names and like weird packaging and all that kind of stuff. So I did track it down on Mercari. And they do, yeah, I know they have I don't know what just happened there. We should have that neurologically tested. What was I even saying? That one I was like, I want to find it. I don't know what I was saying. Yeah, I bought it on Mercari. It's been a long week. You got the Turd one too? Yeah. It might even be sitting over here. I think I had tucked it into one of these jewelry drawers, actually. Which is maybe not the best place for it, but... Oh, someday. Now that this Beast project is over, I'm also thinking I'm finally going to have more time to, like, actually get in and deep clean and deep dive on this office because I need to... First of all, I need to track down the Tones of Turd palette. But also I just need to like organize everything. Yeah, I do need some sleep. I am the other thing. So when I said, we'll talk about that in a bit. The other thing I wanted to know about, because I want to start scheduling some lives. I'm thinking about Wednesdays because I know that Dion usually doesn't have lives on Wednesdays. Because I don't want to, she always says it's fine, she doesn't mind, because sometimes I'll schedule after hers, but I don't want to like tell her, oh, you have to be done in 2 hours. Not that she would have to anyway, her live could keep going and I could just exit to go to do my live, but I don't want to schedule over her lives if at all possible. And so sometimes I may do some days where Dion has a live at 7 Central Time and then I'll do like 9. Her lives have been a little bit shorter recently, so maybe it'll be all right. But I think Wednesday will be good because she usually doesn't have a live, and then I don't have to worry about scheduling over her because I don't want to create a conflict for people. You do not like Wet n Wild products. Ooh, they came out with a Winnie the Pooh collection. You bought all the ER products. Oh, I love Eeyore. I have sucker written on my forehead. Why, Mama Champagne, was it Tanner? So my cousin Tanner, I think, was Eeyore in a play. And when he was a kid, he used to go just like a million miles an hour. He was always like, and then he was telling us about how he was going to be Eeyore. And he was like, I'm going to be Eeyore in the school play. And I have to talk real slow. And so I think it was just an excuse to make him like slow down for a minute. They made him like talk real slow and be Eeyore. I love Pooh. I have the color problem. Yeah, well, yeah, it was Tanner. So that was, I just remember that he was like, I have to talk real slow. And I got distracted again. So what I was going to say with these lives, remember Lucky Dip Live? Remember? I finally, this week, got the last 3 shades that I have been waiting for since my order in August. 8 months it took me to get these shades. I was convinced they were just never going to come. I was really convinced. Let me see if I can find. So one of them is Natasha. So this is Natasha. Natasha is one of my favorite characters. That's one of the dolls that I added to my collection last year. That's one of the harder ones to find and is sometimes a little bit more expensive. I found a good deal on it, and so I added Natasha to my collection. She's one of the rarer. She's not the rarest. Spinnerella is probably the rarest, but I definitely wanted Natasha in my collection. And then Aurora and Princess of Power. Let me see if I can find them. Mysticore, Tila. I want to show these off because I waited for 8 months. 8 months. And after the play, he said, I'm never doing that again. I had my ancient Eeyore hoodie that I finally had to toss. Aww. That's the worst when you have to get rid of stuff because it gets old. I have some old clothing that I probably should get rid of, but it's mostly just that I outgrew it. And so that makes me a little sad, but okay, there we go. There's one. All right, so here is Princess of Power. And this is just kind of like a pearly white with some goldish, maybe almost goldish green shimmer. So Natasha and Princess of Power. Oh, and then Aurora. I don't know what Aurora is supposed to be. I need to try to figure this out because it's in the She-Ra line and it's Aurora, A-U-R-O-R-A. But her name was Adora. And I can't think of any character or any place or anything that was Aurora. And so this is one of those kind of like gradient shadows. So it's got different colors that are all kind of mixed together. So I'm glad that I have them. I hope they don't put out any more She-Ra singles because I will feel tempted to buy them. And after my 8-month wait, I'm not really excited to like buy from them again. But I am a She-Ra sucker, so check out the newest poll on my community page, y'all. Pick the next palette I use. Ooh, yes. Tanya has been hitting it hard. She's back on YouTube. We're very excited because we pestered her quite a bit, and now she's back doing content again. Always exciting. I love to drop in when I can and watch Tanya put together a look. So you can go to her community chat. A lot of people in here, I know, Joe, you haven't been doing videos, but Joe has a lot of content on her channel that is evergreen content. You can always enjoy it. Dawn has not started doing videos yet. We always pester her as well. Grace was in here. Grace has a couple channels. She's got a fashion channel. She's got a beauty channel. And so definitely check out her channels. Who else has been in here? Anybody else that's... Alex, I think you don't have a channel. Is that correct? If you do, feel free to promote it. Mama Champagne does not have a channel. She's just a stand channel for me. Joe. Oh, wait. We talked Joe. Because, yeah, you said you had stopped for a little while. Kayla, I don't believe you have a channel, correct? Eden, I think, has a channel. You have a channel, right? I feel like I've watched a couple of your videos. Tanya, let's see. Anybody else in here that has a channel that we haven't talked about? We had a few random people stop by. I don't know if they have channels. Probably not. They seem like dummy accounts to just be trolls. So let's see. Did I miss anybody? Dion, of course, hasn't popped into the channel yet, but Dion has a channel. Janet does not have a channel, but she's on Instagram. So if you know Janet, who stops in here, she's on Instagram. There was Aurora Dawn. Oh, in She-Ra? I'll have to look that up. I'm drawing a complete blank, but yeah, so I'm trying to decide. I do have all the She-Ra singles, so like I do have this little thing. And then if you remember, I was using Vani Cosmetics, the glitters. Well, Vani Cosmetics, I had such a terrible experience with them that I'm like, I don't know how I feel about promoting them. And then it's like, well, okay, now I've got all of these, and I do still love the She-Ra singles, but I also don't really want to be promoting, excuse me, Pretty Girl, Notoriously Morbid, or Spellcast Beauty, because it's like, I had to wait 8 months for these. Eden, you're just on Instagram? Who am I confusing you with that I saw videos on their channel? But yeah, you can follow Eden on Instagram. I don't know where anybody is. I don't know what's happening. Janet is on Instagram, and she has a really, really cute dog. If you haven't seen Janet's channel, I don't know what it is because it's like JV underscore. Like it's not something that I can just easily spell out for you. But if you know who Janet is from the channel, you'll be able to track her down from her name here on YouTube. But she's on there, and her dog is usually in the photo, and he's very, very cute. And he's got a name after a Doctor Who character, I think. I'm trying to remember. I always forget what it is, but then when she says it, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, 8 months is wild. It's wild. I know they've been going through some things, and I've been trying to like give them the benefit of the doubt. But like Spellcast Beauty, all of these She-Ra singles are supposedly Spellcast Beauty. And when Spellcast Beauty launched, they specifically said, these are not things we are making in-house. These are things that are coming from the manufacturer. We have them. Oh, thank you, Joe. Janet _SV2. Perfect. Yes. So that's Janet's Instagram. These are things that we have in-house, and they are ready to ship. 8 months later, I don't believe it's ready to ship. I do not believe that. I do not believe it at all. I do not believe it in the fall, Dr. Seuss. I do not believe it. I do not. I just don't. Hello, Janet. We were just talking about you. Joe just posted your Instagram handle. We were talking about people in the chat that are on Instagram. Eden, if your Instagram is different than your channel name here on YouTube, the @EdenBaines, you can go ahead and post it in the chat as well, so people could look you up if you want people to find you. If you don't, then don't. Whichever you prefer. Sometimes I don't know if people want to be promoted, but I like people's stuff, so throw in some freebies. Or yeah, I didn't even get a freebie with this one the last time. So like this order, this was the last 3 shadows on that order, and so I had gotten some other things that came after like 5 months, and those came with like 1 free loose shadow, and this came with nothing. It was just the 3 shades. So yeah, I thought they should throw in some freebies or something, or at least acknowledge it. Because then when I wrote to them again, it was like, hey, still just checking on this order, and they were like, oh, I don't know why this didn't get pulled. Let me pull it for you today. I'm like, clearly you're not watching your old orders. Okay, that's uncomfortable. This is one thing I will say, this Dieverune, I don't know if you can tell, I am coated in glitter. So there's lots of glitter particles in those shimmers. And when I wiped it off with the micellar water, it did leave a sheen of glitter all over my skin. So that is something to keep in mind. I don't notice that as much with the Bella B Bar. So this is very similar, but maybe it's not as similar as I think. Like a lot of it feels very similar, but I feel like that the glitteriness I don't get from Bella B Bar. So yeah, the customer service was a little bit sketch. And so I want them to do well. Like I want them to succeed. Like we're rooting for you. We're all rooting for you. I'm turning into a little Tyra, but yeah, I have trouble. Yeah. You just talked to your mom for 2 hours. Oh, well, that's fun. You can come on here and talk to my mom now because my mom is here in the chat. So yeah, it can just be a mother-centric day. But yeah, I think we're probably getting ready to go. This is about an hour and a half. We've had a good hangout. I feel good about this. We talked about some good stuff. So let me know in the chat, or yes, the top model documentary as well. And I'm excited. So if you did not know this, Joe, and I'm not sure when or if or how it's going to be streaming. I hope that it is because I don't have cable. But the E Network is also working on a docuseries about America's Next Top Model, and that's the one that Janice Dickinson is involved in. So people were wondering, why isn't Janice in this documentary? It's because she's in another ANTM documentary that's coming out sometime this year, but it's coming out through the E Network. So I'm assuming it's going to be on the E channel first. And I don't know who E is hooked up with, if they have any kind of streaming. I don't know if you can stream through their website, because I do want to see it. Because apparently it's got different models, different contestants that are involved in that one. Janice is involved in that one. And so I'm excited to see how it compares, because I feel like this one wasn't like a total soft touch documentary, but I feel like they let Tyra get away with like sidestepping a lot of shit and not really like calling her on. Some of it they tried to call her on it, and some they kind of tried to poke at it. But I'm very interested to see what the E! News Network and Janice Dickinson have up their sleeves to talk about ANTM. So, yeah, we enjoy Mama Champagne. She's always fun here. She laughs with me too about my my crazy brain misfires. Yeah, I'm very excited. So if you have cable, if you have the E! Network, be on the lookout. I haven't heard a date. I've just heard this year. So E! is on Hulu. Hulu's going away. So now is that going to be on Disney Plus? Because I know they're phasing out Hulu because it's getting combined with Disney Plus. And so I may have to. Undertaking Betty. I haven't watched Undertaking Betty yet. Saw an advanced screening of Slanted. Crazy premise, but they had a cameo of Nikki Tutorials. Oh. The character was watching one of her videos. The movie was pretty good. See it at the matinee, though, so not a full price. It's not a full price screener. I've been trying, let me tell you, I have been knocking away spoilers of Scream. Like, I just am afraid to go online every day because I have not seen the new Scream yet, and I do not want it to get ruined for me. And so I need to, and I have a drag show tomorrow. So also, this is kind of sad news, but so I have a drag show tomorrow, and it's a good thing I decided to be part of this one, because we have been doing our drag shows at the American Legion, and our American Legion building closed. It's going to close, so they sold the building. There's new owners, and this is going to be our last show in that venue. So I don't know if the show organizer is going to put together something somewhere else. I had a flicker for a moment where I was like, maybe I need to like try to put together a show or something. And I was like, you are old and tired. And I like to be able to just show up and do my thing and get paid. I direct the shows for Bismarck currently. And so I don't know that I want to take on another show trying to organize it. I don't think I have the time or the energy. I like just being able, like I said, be in the cast, show up, get paid. Yeah, the American Legion is closing in East Grand Forks, which is a bummer because they had a really nice setup. They had a really nice, because they have like the bar where all the like the regulars, the patrons, all the American Legion people go, but then they have their like side like banquet room, which is where they do bingo and stuff. And so that's where we had our shows. And then there's a whole like backstage area. So there were like storage closets and bathrooms and stuff that could be used for dressing rooms. And so yeah, it's kind of it's a bummer. I don't know, I haven't heard who they sold it to. That building, I think the whole building is included, and it also includes an Ace Hardware or a Hardware Hank, maybe a Hardware Hank. And so I'm assuming they're going to keep that part open, and I don't know if there's plans for what's going to be in the other part of it, but yeah, so it is going to be closing. So it's not going to be the Legion anymore. So I don't know who's going in there or what they're going to do with it. This is, if somebody had money, and like this would be the time to like try to open up a little show bar, I think. But because we're in like a place, so we're in a time now where people want their safe spaces to go. So I think that for a while, queer folks, we didn't necessarily appreciate our hometown bars and our safe spaces when things were on the upswing, and a lot of them closed. And now that we are back in the dark days, it's time for somebody to open a community space. But I have no money because I constantly shop for makeup, so it will not be me opening it. But if somebody wanted to, this would be the time, because I think all the little blue-leaning people would like a place to go and see a good show. So if anybody wants to invest in Grand Forks, North Dakota, I can help you out. But yeah, so that's what's going on. So let me know in the comments if you want to circle back around and help me feed that algorithm, feed the beast. Then you can let me know what you think about the Lucky Dip. Should I go back to Vonnie Cosmetics and Spellcast? Should I try something different for Lucky Dip Live? What kind of things would you like to see on pre-scheduled lives? I want to do some like makeup looks and play days, because I've got things like this and this that I want to play with, and even this, we haven't played with Conjuring yet, so we could do a look with that. And yeah, so let me know. Let's see if I remember my outro. While you are leaving me that comment down below, don't forget that you can give me that thumbs up to tell me that you appreciated the video. Or if you are like, girl, you are a mess, you can't even string a sentence together, go ahead and give me that thumbs down. It is all engagement. The algorithm isn't a piggy bitch, and neither am I. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell icons. You'll be part of our notification chain. Be part of the family. It'll notify you every time I go live or have an upload. I try really hard to make sure I have at least one video or live per week. And if you're lucky, if you're very lucky, you might even get a bonus video. Ooh, Dede Signature. If you'd like to chat, banter, or commiserate between uploads, if you'd like to chat, banter, commit between uploads, what is happening? What's happening? All of my social media will be linked down in the description box below, including a link to my website. Just pretend it's there, The World of Champagne at JanessaJ.com. Thank you so much for watching. I love and appreciate you all. Thank you, Janet. Yes, Janet has been so lovely, and that's another thing I need to do, because I actually, sitting right here, I need to do a look with, this is from Mandy Cosmetics. This is the Wado Potato. So Janet sent me some beautiful lip products and some loose powder highlighter blush topper type products, and I ordered this Wado Potato palette. We're gonna do something with that from Mandy Cosmetics, and Janet actually asked me if I would be interested in receiving a palette from Tara Moons, and so she sent me that. So thank you, Janet. We appreciate it. We're gonna have a good time. We're definitely going to make time to play with those on the channel. Yeah, I need to go home. I am very tired. I did get a long nap today, but I clearly am still a little bit rattled. So I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you're having a lovely night. And until I see you again, enjoy the weekend. Have a lovely time. And until I see you again, bye. Oh, I am annoying. Oh, maybe I should stay on for you, Bacon Burner. Oh, and now we're going to start name calling. Let's block you before we leave. Okay. There we go. All right. Yes. If you follow me on Facebook, you will know that I have been posting a series that I like to call Still Not a Drag Queen, where I repost all of the Trump supporters who have been arrested on child SA charges. Because this is one thing to keep in mind. Whenever a Republican tries to tell you that drag queens are grooming your children, remember that every accusation is a confession. And somebody should check that person's browser history. And on that note, I hope everybody has a lovely night, has a lovely weekend, and until I see you again, bye. And the awkward turning off of the stream. There we go. All right. Bye.